Okay, great. We got about 30 seconds, okay? That's great.
It's amazing. I've seen maybe 50 of his movies, but in person, he makes your Uncle Harry look good.
Yeah, well, as we say in show business, live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Hello and welcome to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. We're Gary Seath and Brad Robinson.
And you're not.
This week on the early years of SNL, we're talking about Season 5, Episode 12, with host Kirk Douglas and musical guests Sam and Dave. This show originally aired on February 23rd, 1980. Brad, we are back from the holidays. That's all I got. I would talk about this show, but I would rather just catch up on the post-holiday stuff because, man, this show.
I'm gonna say I posted this a couple weeks ago. I am still looking for a vintage. It can be used. Marianne Faithfull Broken English LP. If anybody out there has one and isn't listening to it and wants to send it my way, I am not joking. I want one.
I know you're not. Well, I guess we should move on to the matter at hand. We have an episode with Hollywood legend, star of many feature films, Kirk Douglas.
Yes.
Father of Michael Douglas and three other boys, apparently.
You know the thing I noticed most about Kirk Douglas this episode?
No.
How much Michael Douglas looks like him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Michael Douglas, like there's a lot of times where I'm just like, wow. They look really similar. I mean, it goes to show, but sure.
Sure. But he looks just like his dad. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. No.
Yes. What the hell is Kirk Douglas doing, both on this show and in life at this time?
Okay. I don't know. I'm kind of curious as to why on both sides. Like, why did they ask him and why did he say yes?
I feel Michael Douglas is the reason why he said yes. Or any of the other kids he mentioned, or his... was it grandniece or niece who's in the audience?
His goddaughter.
Godchild?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this has to be somebody like a younger relative of his saying, you should do this.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Sure.
It does feel odd, though. I agree with you at this juncture in the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the first time they've gone back and gotten an older actor of sorts. Your Ruth Gordon's, your... whoever else. I can't think of anybody else right now.
Sure.
But no, like
Desi Arnaz.
Kirk Douglas is a big get. Yeah, Desi Arnaz, like Kirk Douglas. But no, because Desi Arnaz is like that TV world. I'm trying to think of this kind of like you mentioned the Hollywood. Yeah, like Hollywood royalty. Like, so it is a big get. You know, late 70s. Kirk Douglas is a person. He's a big thing.
Yes.
But I feel like it would play better in like a season 2 sort of a get. It feels odd for season 5. Season 5, when you're going old, you're going B. Arthur, Ted Knight, things that still have relevancy to the show and the people on the show.
Yeah.
I feel like someone's a big Kirk Douglas fan, and I want to say Schiller.
Oh, so you're going to pin this on Schiller?
No, I just like he's the most, I think, cinematic person there. And so if someone's tapping into the history or, eliteness of cinema, I feel like that's the guy who's going to make a comment or make a recommendation, I guess.
I mean, we also, are totally overlooking anything that might come from NBC or some executive too. But
yeah, I don't know what's coming at this point. But anyway, he's here.
He's here.
And he's trying his best. He is giving it his all.
Yes, he is. He's not half-assing it. He's in a lot tonight.
He is in a lot. That's true.
And he seems to be enjoying it. Like he's, it doesn't feel like he's going through the motions on any of it.
He does seem into it, right? From the monologue on, he is all in. Even from the cold open. Like he's all in.
Yeah.
I give him credit
certainly
for that.
Not as casual as your Elliot Gould smoking and wearing a sweater. No, Kirk Douglas is in a, 3-piece suit and he's there and he's jumping into every scene.
He's all business, baby.
He is. Should we just get into it?
We should. Let's do it.
All right. So the cold open starts at Kirk Douglas's dressing room door. And we see Gilda show up with her Aunt Margie, who is a huge Kirk Douglas fan, apparently.
Obviously, she's old.
So Gilda, is going to introduce her to Kirk Douglas, and they walk into his dressing room, and Kirk Douglas is very short.
Who is he, Dorf? He's basically doing Dorf.
That's exactly what he's doing.
What? I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Followed by my next comment. God, he looks old.
Yeah. Should we play this game? Did you look this up?
I was going to wait till the monologue.
Okay. We can do that.
Yeah. Because there's actually stuff to talk about right now.
He's on his knees because he's short. He doesn't have the dimple in his chin. And basically, he goes on to tell Margie that it's all, makeup.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. And then the makeup team comes in from Hollywood.
You're expecting someone taller, aren't you? I get it. Don't worry. I get that a lot.
I believe she made a reference to he makes your Uncle Harry look good. Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. But then the Hollywood makeup team comes in, and Gilda and her aunt leave and get shooed away. And that's it. That's our cold open. And then Gilda does a very forced Live from New York. I thought he was actually going to come out then, and look like himself and be like, do the reveal.
Well, because you should say that the makeup team comes in and they rush him off camera. So you don't see what's happening. He shovels off camera. The makeup team comes in. Gilda then ushers her aunt out. And Lauren comes in. You missed the Lauren. We have a Lauren sighting, which I feel like we haven't seen since Eric Idle. The Buck Henry thing and Eric Idle, probably. But, he's like, we got to go. We have a minute left. We have 30 minutes to air. Will he do it? Will he be fine? Yes, and then they get out and Gilda says Live from New York.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this cold open.
Yeah, it was fine. It was, I don't know.
It was short and fun. They got the joke and they got out of there. They didn't belabor the point, which I thought was nice. You know what I mean? Aside from maybe having him come back out, which could have been fun and a very tall, good looking.
Right.
But Gary, it takes more than 30 seconds to make him look that good. Movie magic doesn't happen like that.
You just pull that piece of plastic off of his chin and he's fine. And help him up. Help the old man up off his knees.
You know what I didn't like in this sketch, though?
No.
Lauren's sweater. He's wearing a V-neck sweater with no T-shirt underneath. What is this?
Yeah.
Who is he?
It's the 80s, baby. It's the early 80s. Lest you forget.
Yeah, we ain't wearing that reindeer sweater anymore.
No. Who stole that from him? I forget. There was someone else we saw wearing that sweater.
We did see somebody. We thought there. Yeah, I can't remember. We did see it again.
Anyway, that's our cold open. Then when it comes time for the monologue, Kirk Douglas comes out, sharply dressed in a 3-piece suit, comes down the stairs.
Now I have to ask it. How old is he?
Well, that's what I was going to play the game. How old do you think he was at this time?
61.
You're very close. He was 60.
I did not look it up. Really?
He was 64. Yeah. Or 65.
Oh
65.
my God. I was under?
Yeah.
I thought for sure I was way over. Okay.
No.
All right then.
Yeah. He was 103 when he died in 2020. That's pretty crazy.
My understanding. There'd be no math.
That's why I'm telling you and I'm not asking you. Born in 1916.
It is funny. By the end of this monologue, I do have a note. I want to change my answer. He's got to be pushing 70. So I wasn't that off.
No. You're in there. You got it.
I got the range.
He comes on. His monologue is just him. I think he thinks more people know about Kirk Douglas than maybe they did in 1980. I don't know. But he talks about having been in drama school in New York and a bunch of plays that failed, and then he would fly back to Hollywood. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because in between my note of how old is he, 61, and my next note of I want to change my answer, he's got to be pushing 70, I have only one other note in between the two, and it is, where is this going, ...
Yeah, no, that's a great question. That is my
monologue.
It didn't go anywhere. He told us about being, and he didn't even really tell us anything. And then he brings up, he mentions that he has 4 sons and no daughters, but he has a goddaughter who's here in the audience, and he goes down and talks to her, but talks to
then
the
he
audience.
sits with her. He's sitting on the steps talking to her in the front row, and it just kept going. That's why I was what is going on here?
Yes. Yeah, that was, you're right. What was going on there?
I will say, though, he got a tremendous amount of what I would call respectful applause.
He got that all night, too. Yeah.
That's what I mean, because this is a big movie star. You can tell, to answer our question kind of in the opening of what's going on. It's a big deal he's on the show because this monologue does not really go anywhere, and he gets a lot of applause throughout it. Anytime he kind of references the audience or looks up or pauses, there's a huge applause. I'm just saying, to him, to his credit of who he is.
Right.
You mentioned All Night Long, yes, but I saw it so much in this monologue where I think it's just people just applauding because it's Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's here, he's talking.
He's talking to me. Yeah.
He's talking to me.
It was a quick, weird monologue. Again, and I
was
think
it quick?
Relatively quick. I mean,
okay.
He didn't. I think it felt longer than it actually was.
It did, because he just was rambling. It was just very weird to see him, anyone in the monologue position, just kind of ramble like that. But I guess when you're that old and you have that clout, you can do that.
Yeah. I think it has more to do with clout than age. I guess the age part is you just ramble.
That's true.
Well, from there, we go back to the TV show What If, hosted by Joan Face.
Thank God. Joan Face.
Always good to see Joan Face.
Always. Sadly, this is our last Joan Face appearance. 10th and final time, Joan Face.
That's pretty remarkable.
It's a sad day.
Well, she's hosting What If this week, and her panel is Garrett playing Malcolm McClendon and Harry Shearer playing Donald Erskine, I forget how she pronounces it. And they want to know, I guess it turns out, and I don't remember this, but it turns out all of the What Ifs are written by some 11-year-old kid.
I didn't remember that either.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but I did not remember them all being written by an 11-year-old.
Me neither.
Either. I mean, there's not that many. This is the last What If we see, but it's only number 4. We haven't seen tons of them.
Good. This
What
What
you
If?
like these?
No, I didn't. I think I liked parts of the What If the Superman was German.
The Superman one.
The Uberman.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is What If Spartacus, because Kirk Douglas played Spartacus in the famous film. What if Spartacus had a Piper Cub, which it turns out, Brad, is a type of airplane.
Funny, because I had the question, do you know what a Piper Cub is? Because I assumed it was a bear. And I was wrong. Legitimate question that I had when I heard her say it.
Yeah. Again, I don't know why a Piper Cub would be just normal thing that people would know.
Well, that's part of the what ifs. It's so absurd.
Yeah.
I appreciate the absurdness of it. And maybe back in the 70s, you knew what a Piper Cub was, but I had no clue.
Maybe. My favorite part in this was Harry.
He's so good.
He's so good in this.
So
when
good.
she asks him, what if, and he's like, well, this is something I've thought about ever since I got to the studio and you asked me the question.
No, of course, Harry Shearer is good in this character. He's great. He's so good.
He is.
It's funny too. He was originally, his character was supposed to be an Air Force general, and I'm guessing they changed it due to when we talk about microdentists, maybe a little too similar.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, he was supposed to be an Air Force general, and Gilda was supposed to be the other guest. And she was going to be a doctor. Oh. And then she got replaced by Garrett, who was also supposed to be a doctor at one point. And then he at some point became an amateur bodybuilder?
Yes.
Question mark? Yes.
Yeah. And he was flexing the whole time to camera.
Yeah. So this one went through some changes, but yeah.
And then we cut to, they then always show the dramatization in What Ifs.
Right.
And this one, it's Bill in the cockpit as the pilot with Kirk Douglas as Spartacus. noticeably wearing Spartacus's,
of course,
X, but with his shirt on now because he's 65.
It's like when Steve Martin came back and did King Tut at the anniversary celebration.
Yes, yep.
And he's wearing the King Tut outfit, but he's got a T-shirt on underneath. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it turns out that if Spartacus had a Piper Cub, the Romans wouldn't know what it was because they wouldn't have planes. And then it's just him throwing things out of the plane to try to hit the Roman soldiers, who we do see a bunch of Roman soldiers. Like we see Peter Aykroyd, Tom Davis, Jim Downey, and Brian Doyle Murray all down there on the ground. And then he's throwing things at them and missing. And they're just like, what is going on?
Basically, if Spartacus had a plane, he'd just be dropping stuff out the window.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
If he had a Piper Cub. Yeah.
If he had a Piper Cub.
Right. Yeah. Again, like the other what ifs, I was just like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Go back to Harry. I thought he was the best part of this.
100%. Totally was. Yeah. The dramatization... And I feel like with the exception of the Superman episode, or a Superman sketch, I should say, the dramatizations are the weakest part of these what-ifs. Because the setups are always funny. Jane, of course, is great. And the guests are always good. So, like, that interplay is always amusing. And then the dramatizations tend to be where they kind of fall off a little bit. Because this one, too, I was the same thing. They're cutting back and forth from Bill and Spartacus in the plane, the pilot and Spartacus in the plane, to the Romans on the ground. And like the first time they cut to, I was like, what the hell are they doing with Brian Doyle Murray and Tom Davis? Like, what are they talking about? What's the point? And then they cut back to the second time, and then that's when Downey's there, and he's explaining the gods and what the gods, each of the gods do and who they are. And I was like, man, they are just milking this. No?
Yeah.
And then it just ends. Then it just ends, and they come back to the studio, and they wrap it up. And Jane does have a kind of funny joke about how she had the toy Piper Cub, and she said, well, we just wanted to show this because Kevin's brother and his friends are going to set fire to it and blow it up with firecrackers later.
Right.
But there just were not a lot of laughs in this one, like at all.
I mean, I'm just going to loop that for the rest of the show.
Well, here's something else you might want to loop. Do you feel like Kirk Douglas felt lost to you in this sketch? Like he just didn't know it was just like screaming his lines, not really knowing what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, throughout the entire episode, I feel like he's searching for the cue cards, and he feels like he needs to project for the live audience.
Maybe. Because it felt like even Bill had trouble with him. Because their part of the sketch is him and Bill are trapped in this cockpit together. And they were just like, Bill has that one line. He looked over like, first time in a plane, huh, Spartacus?
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing was remotely funny.
No.
And it just felt like Bill was trying to like rein him in and rein it all in just to get to the end of this sketch.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of that.
Yeah, okay. All right then. Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough. And that's a theme that I think continues for the next sketch. We start at the Pentagon. And then we see that we are within the Pentagon, we see Harry playing a dentist working on Omar Sadat's teeth. And Omar Sadat is played by Garrett again.
Once again, yeah. Again, another final time. Last time we see Garrett play Sadat, but yeah.
And it turns out he finds a cavity because Sadat only brushes once every 10 days. And so they're going to bring in the microdentists, played by Kirk, Bill, and Lorraine. And the idea is that they shrink down to 1 inch and then work on the cavity in your mouth.
I did think this is a hilarious sketch for Kirk Douglas. Like, what do you think is going through his head as they pitch him this sketch? He's Kirk Douglas. He's Spartacus, for Christ's sake. Can you imagine? He's sitting there at the table, and Al Franken gets up, because this was written by Franken and Davis with Jim Downey. So you know Franken's the one pitching this. And Franken gets up there and pitches microdentist to Kirk Douglas. I just want to see that. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that. Because it's so absurd. It's got to work. Like, I love this idea for Kirk Douglas. I think this is an amazingly absurd plot and sketch for him.
Yeah, it's definitely absurd. And it is interesting to see Kirk Douglas do something like this.
Because he plays kind of the leader. He's like the squad leader, and he's like the old gristled guy. So it kind of makes sense for Kirk Douglas to play this sketch. Like, I get the idea of this being on Kirk Douglas's episode. Lorraine's his daughter, which plays well into what happens later in the mouth, but I don't know. It's just the idea is just so bizarre.
Well, it's based on a film, The Fantastic Voyage, which is like
from the mid '60s. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like a precursor to that Dennis Quaid movie, with Martin Short.
Inner Space?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Where they get shrunk down, and I think in Fantastic Voyage, right, they get shrunk down and go into some dude's head or something like that, his brain.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It is funny pitching this idea to Kirk Douglas, because it's not like he was in that film, right? That's what I was looking up, and I don't.
No, he was not. No, he was not. But I mean, they obviously had the idea, and then you need somebody with the gravitas of a Kirk Douglas, I think, to pull it off well, at least. So I get like I said, I get the idea why it came up here. And they do some really nice VFX work where they kind of cut back and forth to the three of them, and then they jump to a blue screen so they can microsize them in camera. Yeah. And then Harry Shearer picks them up. He just tosses them in his mouth. He just goes to the side and just tosses them in his mouth.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth open. That was funny. And then they show up on this set, which has got to be one of, maybe I'm exaggerating, but one of the top 3 sets we've seen on SNL. The inside of Sadat's mouth. I thought this was amazing. Because it's a big set to fit 3 of them. It's a top. You have the roof of the mouth, the bottom, the tongue, which is on a slope. So when they fight the taste buds can roll and fall off, and they can throw people down his throat.
Yeah.
I thought the set was amazing.
Yeah, the set was very well done.
It was really cool. Like, again, for the construct of what this idea of a sketch is, really fun.
It's a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on in this sketch.
Yes.
Yeah. And the mouth is pretty gross. You can see from the inside.
Well, Lorraine walks in and goes, it smells, right? They have an odor. And she's like, it smells like he only brushes his teeth once every 10 days.
When they get in, one of my highlights was Bill was like, I drank 3 pots of tea.
Yes. He's looking for the bathroom. Very funny. It's very funny because he's like kind of like shy about it. He's looking over his shoulder and he's like, like you said, I drank 3 pots of coffee. And like Kirk Douglas has to yell at him, "You're in the mouth of the president of Egypt. What are you doing, man?"
It's the United Arab Republic.
Oh, excuse me.
Come on.
Right. Come on.
But
so then the taste buds show up and they get into a fight with the taste buds, which this is, I think, also, who was it? Bill Kenny mentioned this, right? They talked about, because this, I think, was a play on the Budweiser jokes at the time where they're doing these taste bud jokes.
Oh, okay.
Or excuse me, taste bud commercials.
Right.
And they were trying to be funny and be very SNL-like, and I guess one of them was like the Blues Brothers. So I think this is another one of those kind of knocks on those Budweiser taste bud commercials, just a little bit more direct.
Yeah.
Because Bill guts one of them. They get into a fight with the 3 of them, and like Bill grabs, I think it's Tom Davis by the neck and like guts his sternum.
Yeah.
He bleeds out and he kicks him down the throat.
Exactly. Yeah. That was funny. And then there's like a whole romance thing between Lorraine and Bill.
Right.
Like you said, she's his daughter. And and then it keeps going, and then they're there to fix this cavity. They finally
get to the procedure. Yeah, they finally get to the procedure, and they call for the laughing gas.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
They smoke out the set. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. But then Kirk Douglas only has a minute and a half left and hasn't even started filling the cavity and has to rush, and then tells Lorraine and Bill to go.
He's all in. Kirk Douglas is committed and all in on this sketch. I will give him credit for that.
Yes.
He's giving it his all.
And then he finally feels it, and he's about to jump out of his mouth. And then we cut to Gilda and Jane talking to camera as
on
themselves.
Home base, just hanging out. Yep.
They introduce themselves, and they mention how you're expecting to see some crazy visual effects here. I'm not really sure why all of this happened, or like why we're hearing from them.
Well, I kind of know why. You got to get the three of them back. The microdentist got to get back on the other set. So you got to do something to give them time to get there.
Right.
I like the idea, but something must have went wrong because they had to stretch. And I feel it has to do with Kirk Douglas being, 72 years old and not being able to get from point A to point B in enough time, because it was fun watching them try to hold it together because they're kind of breaking themselves up. Jane's giving dialogue like you said, like, you're waiting for special effects, and if we can't do it, we don't want to shortchange you. That's not what we do here on Saturday Night Live. And then Gilda tries to say something, and they start laughing at each other. And I understand the idea of why it exists, but I do feel like it went longer than they needed to, and the two of them are out there just stretching because then it does a really hard cut in the middle of one of their lines.
Yes.
Back to the dentist office.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed that because they clearly didn't know what they were doing, and they kept calling on one another, and she'd be like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, oh, yes.
Yes, Gilda. Like you said.
So that was fun. And then we go back and we see Kirk Douglas's foot in Garrett's mouth because he just got out in time.
He just came out. Yeah. Then there's a weird bit where Sadat comes to.
Yeah.
And he's like, and Shearer's asking him, how do you feel? How was the procedure? And he goes, everything felt well, but I had this dream or this feeling that someone was like under my shirt and feeling me up. Like basically like Harry Shearer was feeling up Sadat during the procedure.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand what that did to the sketch, like what that added to the sketch.
Well, it was because
other than time.
Harry Shearer was yelling at Kirk Douglas for making it so close and barely getting out, and he could have killed the president of the United Arab Republic, but he didn't. And then, so basically,
but why was Harry Shearer? Wait, hold on. You're trying to explain to me why then Harry Shearer was feeling up Sadat?
Well, because there was you've never heard of dentists taking advantage of patients when they're under.
Oh, that's where that was going.
Yeah. That's what that was all about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was.
I mean, this was our long sketch of the night. So by this point, I was kind of wondering.
Yeah. And then we go to Good Nights.
Ambitious.
Oh, wait. We don't go to Good Nights.
No.
Yes. It was ambitious.
Yeah. Very ambitious. I think this falls in line very well with season 5. Just trying to do something really weird and really long. And the premise is funny. I feel a lot of time these sketches, the kernel, right? The premise is funny. The spoof of Fantastic Voyage, and you send microdentist into the mouth. The premise is funny, but whether it's because they make the sketch too long or for whatever reason, I mean, you've said this for 12 episodes now. Like, the premise is there and they just don't deliver on it. And I think this is just another one of those instances.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one, they add this whole layer of complexity about it being Anwar Sadat and at the Pentagon. They just add these layers where it's
I see. Right.
You could have had you could have used the same prop and used the microdentist thing, and it could have been like a cutting edge dental procedure that Harry as the dentist explains.
Right.
It could have been something like that. And just
maybe like that. Yeah.
Simplify it. That's all. But it felt very Downey and Franken and Davis to have all of these complex elements. And we don't.
Well, you had your crawl.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. You have it at the end. You have this very long crawl over a freeze frame, which is not funny because it's not them frozen.
I know. It was an actual freeze frame. I saw that too. I was like, God damn it, boys. I wonder if the Sadat of it all, though, is to give Garrett something. I mean, he could have been anybody, though, I guess, too. But give Garrett a little something, do something a little more.
Yeah.
It's the only reason. And like, why are you doing this micro dentist thing? Is you need like a high level military security thing, I guess. But
I guess.
You know, and the problem with these really long sketches is, at least especially for this one, there's just not enough jokes, you know, to keep it going.
I feel like that's the problem with season 5. Yeah.
No, God, you hate this season. The taste bud, like
I'll tell you what,
buds,
man.
The taste buds thing was fun. The taste buds thing was funny, and they came in, they fought, like, and they left, but then it went back to the 3 of them. Anyway, there isn't enough per capita, I think, in these long sketches to make it work. But
yeah,
they like the big swings.
Yeah. Well, luckily for us, the highlight of the night is next. Sam and Dave come on and sing their song, You Don't Know Like I Know.
This might be the highlight. You're right.
Yeah. You know why? Those 3-piece suits they're wearing. Oh, baby. Orange 3-piece suits, big collars. Can we get those for our season 5 swag?
We should. Little embroidery on the lapel here.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Work on that.
That would be amazing. This was, it was the highlight for me of the night, was seeing Sam and Dave perform.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. They're amazing. You know a lot about Sam and Dave.
I mean, this is a great tune. They're just so good. Sam and Dave are so good. But this is off their first album, Hold On, I'm Coming. It's written by Dave Porter with Isaac Hayes, you know.
Yeah.
Isaac Hayes. I mean, this is Stax. This is quintessential Stax music right here.
Right.
Sam and Dave, Isaac Hayes co-wrote, and it's just, you know, just so good.
It's a lot of fun. Like, it's just fun watching them perform live.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this is not one of their big hits.
No.
They could have played a lot of other songs. Like, even off this album, I don't think this was a single off their album. Obviously, Hold On, I'm Coming was, but I don't think this was. But, like, great tune. They do it really well. It was fun to see Howard Johnson and Bones Malone play with the band. And I was kind of surprised seeing them as the musical guest. It took 12 episodes. This is the first, like, black group we've had on this show this season as a musical guest.
Really?
Which is surprising.
Yeah.
Because I saw them, and I'm like, wow, they're really good. I'm like, who's the last we had? And I was like, nobody. You got to go back to, I looked it up. We had to go back to Ornette Coleman.
Wow.
Last season. Yep.
Huh. That is surprising.
I know. But thank God they're good. I mean, they're so good. I love Sam Moore's voice. Like, his voice is so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys are great. They just come on and play just great, like, 60s, 70s soul. They're so good.
Yeah. They still bring it. It's awesome.
And they hadn't been playing in a while. Like, they haven't recorded, I should say. Like, they only had like 5 albums.
Yeah.
They did, I think, 4 albums in the late 60s, early 70s, and then they went 7 years before having another album, and their last album was in 1975. So after that, all they were doing really was touring, you know, playing random places here and there, and I think doing some, you know, recording singles here and there. And then obviously, as we know, the Blues Brothers album came out and kind of gave them a resurgence with Soul Man. So they're kind of back in the consciousness, but they didn't go back to recording or anything. And they stopped playing together shortly after this. I think the end of 1980 or 1981, they stopped playing together.
That's a shame.
I know.
Yeah.
These guys are so good. Dave Porter, Sam Moore. Oof. I mean, Springsteen credits these guys as like how to lead a band. And you can see it in the second number. You can kind of see it. But like Bruce Springsteen credits Sam and Dave as how he learned how to be a band leader by watching these two guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is. You can see that in the next song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us into weekend update. U.S. hockey just won over Russia.
See, I told you it wasn't last week.
I know. You were right. I believed you.
Can you put that at the end of our track now? Like every time as our closer. Yeah, you were right. Just can we end with that every episode?
No.
Okay.
In fact, that probably won't make this episode.
Son of a bitch.
We get, some, I don't know, some jokes.
Snap scam jokes.
Yep. We get
something about Republicans.
Yeah. Yes, we did. And then we get
But I feel like it was on. Like very of the time. because the audience really liked the joke about Republicans. I did not get it. I will admit, I completely missed it. And I was guessing they were going to go into a Reagan joke, but I feel like they were being very spot on for the time because the audience really liked that stuff.
Yeah. And then we get a Reagan joke. We get a Reagan commercial. Yeah. We get Harry Shearer as Reagan doing a whole commercial where he makes fun of Mexicans and Irish.
I genuinely shot up at the line when he made the Mexican joke.
Yeah.
I was like, because, as we said, this episode's kind of whatever, and I'm kind of half watching, and he makes the joke about the Mexican Americans. He says something like, he can't write they can't get checking accounts, and he's upset. And he goes, well, because he can't write his name small enough on the check with the spray can.
Yeah.
And I legitimately shot up, what did he just say?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he said an Irish joke, and then he says something like, see you at the polls. And he said, I mean the voting booths.
Yes. And then I guess the return joke is that he has offensive commercials with all these other ethnicities as well. It rattles them off.
I did write, he must have done something specific. This is too specific to be made up, and we just don't know about it, so far down the line, because it's such a specific hit which if you think about it, I think it's a really great piece that Harry does.
Yeah. Yeah, and his Reagan is fun. It's
good.
I just like how made up they make him look, and so because I think that was a big thing too at the time.
This is the first time you see that.
Yeah,
them trying to really make somebody up to play the part. As we said, Chevy, Dan, they didn't care if you looked like the person you were doing, and they do try to make Harry.
Well, I think, but what I was saying was, I think that's part of the impression is that Reagan was always so caked up with makeup and hairspray and shit like that too.
Right. Well, because that's what they did that in the cold open with Lorraine, right?
Yeah. Right. And they took all that shit off. But I thought it was good. I enjoyed Harry. Jane comes back with a joke about virginity, which I kind of lost, but then she asks Bill when he lost his virginity, and she was like,
that's when it got good.
Yeah. And his comeback was, I was 9. She asked, how old was your partner? Oh, I didn't use a partner until I was 13.
It wasn't even the line. It was the delivery.
Yeah.
Bill's deadpan was great. And then the back and forth between the two of them was really good. The partner line was really funny. Easily the best part of Weekend Update.
The crowd loved it.
I mean, so funny, in fact. Bill loved it because he's holding back laughter into the next joke. He had trouble keeping it together. Great, a great Jane and Bill back and forth.
It's a shame that we don't have that more often. I think we had an episode a few episodes ago where we didn't have any, I guess it was the Chevy episode. We didn't have any desk pieces, and they just played so well off of one another. I wish we got that more. Mm-hmm. Jane makes another plea to Walter Cronkite not to retire. And then social sciences editor Al Franken comes on to talk about the draft.
When President Carter asked Congress to reinstate registration for the draft, I know a lot of you out there thought to yourselves, I wonder how this is going to affect Al Franken. Well, since registration for men involves only 18 to 26-year-olds, I won't be directly affected. Fortunately, I'm 28. And that's why I, Al Franken, support not only registration, but the draft itself. Oh, I used to be against the draft, but that was a few years ago when I was young and naive. And I think it takes a big man to admit that he was wrong. You see, now I realize what a threat the Soviets are to me, Al Franken, and to my way of life. You see, I'm doing so well as a television star, especially since I thought of this Al Franken decade thing, that I really am becoming a strong believer in laissez-faire capitalism. I think it's really true that selfishness is the best motivator. And I think that people like me, Al Franken, who succeed and make a lot of money, well, we're really the brightest people and the most talented people, and we deserve to live better than those of you who lag behind. But the Russians don't believe this. And if they take over the world, the very kind of person they'll come after is me, Al Franken.
Nice. It was good. I like how he turned the draft onto the Al Franken bit. It was really, I did think that was funny.
I laughed out loud at this Al Franken bit. Like, I thought he was really
too
good.
old for the draft. He supports the draft fully.
Yes.
because he's living a high life, especially since I thought of this whole Al Franken decade thing. It was very good.
Yeah, it was fun. It's really good.
Good.
I enjoyed this. He's really good. I think he's really good at the desk too, camera.
Totally.
Yeah. And that's it. That's Weekend Update. It was pretty short, all in all.
I agree. Yeah, not bad. I think for the time, this was a pretty good update. Like I said, I think a lot of the jokes were very much of the time, and they weren't quote unquote big stories, which I think played well because the audience seemed to get them all. And to me, it's what you want on a Weekend Update. You want smart stuff you've got to know, and I think this played really well to people. It doesn't play that well now, but I think at the time this was a really good Weekend Update.
Yeah. Yeah, the crowd definitely thought so.
And the two bits they did were good. The Reagan thing and the Al Franken thing were also, both of them were very good.
Yeah. And you had a little bit of play between Jane and Bill. So yeah, that was a good Weekend Update. It's pretty strong. Well, from there we go to a bar mitzvah for Greg Lieberman, thrown by his parents, Kirk and Gilda, who look more like his grandparents.
Yeah, I was like, how is Kirk Douglas his father? He's 82.
But what's funny is that they dressed Gilda up to look like an older woman, like his age.
I was legitimately shocked when they said he was his father.
Me too. And then Kirk gets up to give a speech, and he gives a very, that was fun seeing Kirk Douglas, who, give this like typical Jewish father speech. And then they bring on the entertainment, and we get Nick the Lounge Singer.
I was just happy to see Schiller.
That's right. I thought it was interesting that, Bill comes on and he's clearly been drinking this whole time. And I like when he calls the kid up. He's like, Greg, come up here.
Yeah.
You're a man now. Get me another one. I enjoyed that. That was funny.
It was a different Nick the Lounge Singer we've never seen. Like you said, he's obviously been drinking. We got his name for the first time. Nick Collins. They introduced him as Nick Collins. And I believe it's on Paul Schaefer's piano as well as Nick Collins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like Nick Borealis or
right.
Nick Rivers or, he actually has a real last name. But yeah, he definitely has this drunken lounge singer persona that I will say, plays pretty well for what it's worth. It's a different Nick the Lounge Singer, but it's decent.
Yeah, it was fine. I didn't think this was an outstanding.
It was different.
Bit. Yeah,
it was. You know what it was? It was different, and I wonder. It's almost like that nerd sketch we saw with Ted Knight. If they didn't play this as Nick the Lounge Singer, right, and just a different character.
Yep.
It might have been interesting because it's different. Like, he doesn't have Dan Aykroyd's character coming in. He's not at a resort. There's a reason why he's there. He's the hired entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That if you just played him as the hired drunken band leader, it could kind of be funny without bringing those Nick the Lounge Singer expectations in.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to do that, you can't have Bill do it. That's the thing. Otherwise, you're just looking for Nick the Lounge Singer.
There is that. That's true.
I don't know.
I did like that they still had Lorraine sitting in the crowd, though. And I was waiting for her to be with some dude she wasn't supposed to be with.
There was an Alan Zweibel sighting.
Yes, always good, too.
He plays the rabbi. The very beginning.
Which then I was confused what Schiller was, but I don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Again, this was one that it was like, yeah, this was fine. It wasn't.
It was fine. I agree. Fine.
Yeah. From there, we go not to Saturday Night Live. They're interrupted by Primetime Saturday because there's not enough material for Saturday Night Live. And we see Harry as Tom Snyder. So he's taken over this impression from Dan.
Well, we should say Dan has even admitted he took his Tom Snyder from Harry's Tom Snyder. Harry was doing Tom Snyder before Dan did.
Right.
So taking it back, we should say.
On the show.
And he's good.
He's really
very good.
He's
very, very good.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Good evening once again, everybody, from Studio 3K here in Rockefeller Center. The name of the program is Primetime Saturday, although we ran out of primetime before we ran out of program, so tonight maybe it should be not ready for Primetime Saturday. Anyway, we called upstairs to Studio 8H here in Rockefeller Center, where they do the Saturday night show, and we told them that we had one segment left over. Their director, Mr. Wilson, said they were running kind of short. We both work for the National Broadcasting Company, so here we are.
Stand by to turn. 3, 2, 1, turn.
Ever since Jimmy Carter became president, a great deal of attention is focused on his brother Billy, both for pitching beer and for representing Arabs in this country. We wondered, with a new presidential campaign underway, whether any of the candidates have a Billy up their family tree. So we have gathered three brothers of three presidential candidates in the studios, Studio 4L, as a matter of fact, of our station WMAQ Channel 5 in Chicago, out there on the 19th floor of the Merchandise Mart. We would have flown them in here to New York, but we're not doing too well in the ratings at this point, so there they are in Chicago. Gentlemen, good evening to you.
He's not a caricature of Tom Snyder like Dan's Tom Snyder is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's just much more Tom Snyder. And he's interviewing three brothers of presidential candidates. So Bill Murray is playing Claude Connolly, Jim Downey's playing Wendell Bush, and Paul Schaefer is playing Dennis Crane. One thing I missed before he interviews the candidates' brothers, we hear the voiceover, what he's getting his prompt in his earpiece. We hear that. I think it's Lorraine, and it's like, and we're gonna turn to the right. 3, 2, 1, and then he turns to the camera.
Slowly turns. Yeah.
I liked that bit. And then he's interviewing, via satellite, the three brothers of presidential candidates. I mean, that part was fine. I enjoyed the Tom Snyder bit. I thought he was really good as Tom Snyder.
I mean, aside from Harry Shearer's excellent Tom Snyder impression, there's not much in this one.
No.
Which is kind of the point. I mean, the point is, and I feel like I've said this a bunch on season 5 as well. I can see how this is funny on paper. The concept's good. Tom Snyder interviewing the candidates' brothers trying to dig up dirt, and there is none. They're all just really lame.
Right.
But there just wasn't much for the audience to get into for that because they were so lame. So that's what I'm saying. I could see on paper this is a really funny, smart piece, and you put it on its feet and it just doesn't stick.
But again, these are like obscure. A, some of them are obscure candidates, and B, it's like the brothers.
That's the point, though.
Right. But it's
how obscure the candidates are, because the idea is they're trying to find the next Billy Carter.
Right.
Like, that's the joke. So whoever the candidate is doesn't matter. You have these lame brothers. And I would say at least, it's not the performances. Because I think the guys playing the brothers.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All do a decent job.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think Bill's actually pretty good. And it's a rare instance of him pulling off an accent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He pulls off that Texas accent. Yeah. He doesn't lose it, and he holds it pretty well. He does a really good job. Downey's really good, not surprising, as just being vanilla,
right,
and boring. And even Paul Schaefer pulls off his character serviceably. Just a guy who doesn't have anything to offer. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's just the conceit is the idea just doesn't translate well to the sketch itself.
Well, I think part of it too is, it's a very different interview than we ever saw Dan do as Tom Snyder, where he was talking to, celebrities, quote unquote. Most of them were actual celebrities, or many of them. And it was just a different style interview. It was also, they were all live with him in person, which I think helped.
But I think those were all about Dan doing Tom Snyder. And this sketch is not supposed to be all about Harry playing Tom Snyder. Tom Snyder's a character in this sketch. I almost, now that we're talking about it, think this is kind of in that vein, a little bit of what we talked about Caucus and such, where they're trying to get smarter. They're trying to get smarter about politics, and they just haven't figured it out, or the audience isn't ready for it yet, because that's what this was. This wasn't a Tom Snyder piece where you wanted to fall over Harry Shearer's Tom Snyder, as great as it is. He was just the vehicle to then tell you this smart sketch.
Right.
And maybe it was a little too smart.
I mean, I don't even think it was smart. I think it was just too... I don't think it was actually smart. I think it was trying to be smart. How about that? I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Maybe like I said, that's what they're doing though. I think they're trying to figure out how to be smarter.
Right.
And you only try by doing. And yeah, like I said, it's again, other than his Tom Snyder, there's not a lot there. I mean, oh man, how bad did that Kennedy joke not hit?
Yeah.
Do you remember the
about
Ted
not
Kennedy
having
joke
any siblings?
Yeah, he's talking about he's like, we only have Republican candidates here, and that's because we all know President Carter's brother, and Governor Brown has a sister, and well, Senator Kennedy's an only child. But he doesn't stutter like I do. He just like played it very straight through.
Yeah.
And there's just like silence.
Yeah.
Or a gasp or two at most. And it was like, ooh, man, come on, boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was rough.
Yeah.
But the saving grace was that Tom Snyder impression, so.
It was.
From there.
That might be best bit. I might have to write that down.
The Snyder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might be struggling for a best bit this episode.
I mean, we'll get there. But first, we have to sit through Kirk Douglas doing Kirk Douglas impressions. So he's doing impressions of impressionists doing their Kirk Douglas impressions.
Again, I laugh because it starts out as an infomercial for Kirk's Greatest Kirks.
Yeah.
And I had to write down, I don't know what a Kirk is. Quickly followed by, oh, I see now.
Yeah.
I had no idea what this was for the first minute. It took me a little bit.
Yeah.
Was that a thing back then?
What, Kirk Douglas impressions?
Yeah. Was that a thing?
Apparently. Rich Little did one.
So.
Who did they say? It was Rich Little. I didn't write them down. This
Red
is
Fox.
when...
They went through a list of names, and it was like they kept playing on names, and the one was funny. It was like Red Skeleton, Red Fox.
This is when I texted you about how bored I was watching this episode.
This one's rough. This is a rough... Yeah. It's not... Again, it's like Kurt... It's just Kirk Douglas isn't commanding it, and so it just feels rough, and then he like promos the album, and then they cut back and forth to him doing the impressions of the impressions, and it's just... Again, unless it was a thing, I just didn't get it.
It feels like the kind of thing that meant something to Kirk Douglas, where he was like, all these people do impressions of me. And the writers are like, oh, sure. Yeah, they do.
That's what I mean, though. Was it a thing? I guess so. For him, it was, I guess.
Right. At least for him, it was. Well, after that, we get Schiller's reel, Mask of Fear.
Last one of the OG.
Is it?
Not a last this episode. Well, it's coming to an end. Yeah, this is the last one we get from him from this era, at least. Yeah.
Right. And this is Mask of Fear, and it's you see some guys eventually breaking into a house and kidnapping a man and woman, and they're like, "What do you want? You can take anything you want." And they're like, "You're going skiing," and they take him skiing. That's it. That's the Schiller's reel, right?
Are you not going to tell people that they put on ski masks before that all happened?
Sure. Right.
Kind of plays into the whole thing of Mask of Fear. They wore masks.
I know. I did not enjoy this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you might, because
it was like this episode because I was so
you
done.
Must be. Yeah, I guess you are done, man. Because I had no idea where this was going. It's completely absurd. Because I feel like, as we often said, he always jumps around through genres. We've never seen him do something like this before. And so he's setting up this kind of suspense of something happening. This couple in their house going to sleep. This two dudes in a car,
right,
looking up at them, and then they put these ski masks on. And I legitimately was like, "Where is this going to go? What are they going to do?" And I'm like waiting for something horrible to happen to these people because I think he builds the suspense really well of the couple and these guys and what's going to happen. And then the wife wakes up, gets the husband to wake up. He goes to the door. And then he's like, "Yeah, you're going skiing." And then we cut to all this stock footage, which I recently learned last night because I was hanging out with Tom at a screening of his film, Nothing Lasts Forever. And he was talking about how he loves stock footage. And so there's all this stock footage of people skiing and ski vacations and stuff. And it's like, okay. So it kind of worked for me that way, just because I think he did a really great job of taking you in one direction and then completely making a turn on it.
Sure.
And I don't know. See, unlike you, I enjoyed it in this episode because I was not enjoying so much. And so I enjoyed this. It gave me something to enjoy.
Yeah.
Not the best, but I thought it was fun. And like I said, that juxtaposition of suspense versus just completely throwing you for a loop, I thought was interesting.
Yeah. I get it. Well, I was energized for the next thing. The next bit was Sam and Dave coming on and singing Soul Man. And my first note was, I hope this is a 15-minute version that gets me to the end of this goddamn episode.
God, you are so bitter.
And really what I meant was, I wrote episode, but I meant season. Could we just, can this performance get me to the end of the season?
I was just amazed that now for the second time in the original era, we have a musical guest covering a song already played by another artist on this show. And both instances.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
And both instances were by the Blues Brothers.
Yeah. It makes sense, though.
Yeah.
This was a great performance of a great song.
Did you like this, really?
I did, yeah. What I didn't enjoy, actually, was how much screen time Tom Bones Malone got.
Oh, I don't mind. I did not love this as much. And maybe it had to do with I watched this the night after Steve Cropper passed. And it really hurt that he was not on guitar playing on this. Steve Cropper, who played on the original, Stack's
right.
house band with him and Duck Dunn. And I think you missed the band. I really missed the band on this. Booker T. Jones, Steve Cropper, Duck Dunn, Isaac Hayes, who co-wrote this with Dave Porter, played piano on this song. Like the Sam and Dave Soul Man is so good. And as much as Gregory tries, and I only know his name because Sam Moore gives him a shout out, he is no Steve Cropper. And then they do this kind of disco breakdown thing, which again, I didn't dig.
Yeah, it's a live performance though. Trying something
But
different.
they're good.
Yeah.
But they are, yeah, I'll give you
good.
that. They do something different, and they're still good. Like, they as performers are still good.
Yeah.
I just, I feel there was another song we saw this at one point. We're like, it's just hard to mess with perfection. It's just, the studio track of this is so damn good, and that band is so good.
Right.
You can't live up to it.
Yeah, except that's a totally different thing.
I hear. I didn't hate it. Like, don't get me wrong.
No,
I enjoyed
you hated
watching
it.
I was
Nope.
I was just missing. I was missing the kernel.
So you liked Microdentists better than Soul Man. Noted. Got it.
Fact. The Colonel and Duck are turning in their graves.
I just was surprised how much screen time Bones Malone got over the rest of the band.
It's not their. I don't know. I didn't like the band. I don't know.
I
Even
think
when they cut to the dude
that's
Gregory
just like
doing his solo, he's doing his solo, and I'm like, man, again? It was the day after Steve Cropper died, so I was listening to a lot of Steve Cropper, and I was just bummed.
Yeah, that explains it. Because I think if you watched it in a different context, you would feel differently about it.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Well, we're still not at good nights. We've got one more thing to get through.
Tell me you like this one. This is a good sketch. Oh, man.
It was?
It was a fun little sketch, man. Come on.
It was fine. It was fine.
Okay.
You explain it to me, and let me then see what I am missing here.
Gilda's a bathroom attendant in a woman's ladies' room. And it starts with Jane doing her hair or something, and Gilda's kind of harassing her a little bit, and Jane gives her a 50-cent tip and walks out. Lorraine comes in, goes into the bathroom, and then the next person that walks in is Kirk Douglas. And he realizes he's in the wrong bathroom, and he tries to leave, and Gilda won't let him leave, and she starts kind of harassing him as a fan and tells him all the other famous people who's been in here and sit here and sign my paper towel. She wants him to do impressions from old movies, but it's like stuff from Cary Grant or Gone with the Wind. And I liked it. It was like a fun little sketch. And I thought the host was really good. I thought this was the one instance of the night where Kirk Douglas, aside from the cold open, I liked him in the cold open, but he was really good in this sketch. I just thought it was something different and fun, and it wasn't trying to be big and grandiose. And I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the host being in it. I thought Gilda was great. I thought it was a great character for Gilda to play.
I don't know. I guess it felt like I don't necessarily need big and grandiose. And I agree with you. That part was good that it wasn't, but I was also like, all right. I don't know. There wasn't much there for me with it. I don't know.
For whatever reason, like this was a welcome ending. Like I felt this was it reminded me of Martin Sheen's Hairspray. It's a fun sketch at the end of the night to kind of bring things to an end.
Yeah.
The host does a great job. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes simple is good. And for me, this was simple and fun, and it was short enough, and I enjoyed all of it.
And he was having fun with it, which is good, which is fun to see. I mean, again, I think Kirk Douglas tonight had fun in everything he was in.
He did. I agree.
And he definitely had fun with this piece. So, yeah. And that's it. That's the show. Then we go to Goodnights. He's very excited to have been at Goodnights, and he definitely looks like he had a lot of fun, and it looks like the cast had a lot of fun working with him.
He looks like he's 97 by this point.
It was a weird one. It was not weird. It was just kind of disappointing for me.
No, it's nothing great, but you're going to have those. It's not horrible. It's a bit subpar, but it's not a horrible episode. It's, the material was okay. Nothing amazing. I don't think the host helped. I'll be fair, or I'll be honest. I don't think.
Yeah, but it's not
the host did anything to
trying.
make it better.
No, but it's not for lack of trying on his part.
He just couldn't elevate anything. But you can't really.
But he's not a comedic actor either. I mean, that's the other thing.
I don't know. It's an easily forgettable episode.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not horrible. It's something you're never going to remember that it happened.
No.
And unlike, say, and there wasn't anything standout. Like, there wasn't a standout sketch or anything that you could, remember. Like, oh, that was from this episode. I feel like this is an episode you'd be hard-pressed to remember anything by.
Yeah. Amen to that. Well, Brad, what are your best bits?
Women's bathroom. I think it was fun. It was a fun sketch to watch. I enjoyed watching it. It's the one thing tonight, Sam and Dave excluded because I did enjoy them, but it's the one thing you could throw at me and I would watch it and enjoy it and say, sure, I'll watch that again. It's an enjoyable thing to watch, and I think it was the best thing we saw in the episode this tonight.
I'm going to say...
Oh, I'm sorry. And Harry Shearer's Tom Snyder. Harry Shearer's Tom Snyder was also awesome. I'll give it that.
I think everything Harry Shearer was in tonight, he was awesome. He was a
microdentist, by the way.
But he was good.
Which you hate.
I do. But he was good as the dentist in Microdentists. He was good as the guy in What If. He was great as Reagan. He was great as Tom Snyder. He was the MVP of this episode, I think.
Oh, I will. Yes, hands down, I will say Harry Shearer would be the MVP.
Yeah, and then Sam and Dave. So I was going to say my best bits were just Harry Shearer's screen time because he didn't have a lot, but what he did have was awesome.
That's true. Very good.
And I think Sam and Dave, you don't know like I know, was awesome. That's probably, that kept me afloat for a
It
long
was
time.
good. It was good. It's Sam and Dave for me. It was tough because I would have rather seen "Hold On, I'm Coming," or you know what I mean, or
But I don't think you would have because you already are poo-pooing Soul Man because you're hung up on the album version of things. So I don't think anything they did would have worked for you because of when you watched this episode.
I am forever grateful and thankful that Sam and Dave are on SNL and we have this because it would be a sin if they were never on. So I am ecstatic that this exists.
I also really liked Al Franken. I thought this week's desk piece I thought was really good. So that's it. That's the show.
That's it.
We can move on and never talk about this again. Next week on the early years of SNL, we'll be talking about season 5, episode 13, with host Rodney Dangerfield and musical guest the Jay Giles Band. Until then, good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
And have a pleasant tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. Look for us on social media everywhere at NR4PT Project. And please drop us a line to let us know what you think of the shows, and frankly, because we're kind of lonely, at nr4ptproject@gmail.com. The Not Ready for Primetime Project team includes Brad Robinson and Gary Seath. Please remember to rate and review wherever you watch and or listen to the show. Thanks for listening. Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Brad, why do you do this?
Do you do this to hurt us?